There's an undeniable link between valuing yourself and valuing time. See, people who truly appreciate themselves develop a respect for time that goes beyond the clock. It's about seeing time as the foundation for every result they hope to achieve. They understand something powerful. Every single one of us, no matter who we are, is given the same 24 hours each day. Rich or poor, old or young, we all start each day with the same clock ticking. Now, here's the revelation. It's not the 24 hours that separates those who flourish from those who flounder. It's how they manage those hours. The rich, both in wealth and in purpose, have cracked a simple code. A few disciplines practiced every single day. That's it. Not grand gestures or dramatic moves, but small, consistent actions. With just a few purposeful steps each day, you're planting seeds for a different life, a different future, maybe even a different income. This management of time is what tilts the scale, changing the course of your life. And here's where discipline steps into the spotlight. Discipline is once again at the center of this puzzle. It's the backbone of time management. The daily choice of how you're going to spend those precious hours is nothing but discipline in action. Ignore it and you'll drift. Respect it and you'll rise. So here's one option. You could ignore the entire topic of time management if you want. Really, if you're honest with yourself and think I've always been running behind, don't see that changing anytime soon, then fine, just own it. But let's be clear, time isn't going to bend to fit your whims. It's not waiting on you. That's why it's essential to filter out other people's ideals about success or how you should manage your time and instead choose a path that feels true to you. Resist becoming someone else's definition of success. Don't let someone force you to run on their clock. Now, maybe another option works better for you. Perhaps stepping down a notch is what you need. That's a valid choice too. Sometimes the responsibilities of managing it all or being in control of everything can steal your time instead of enriching it. Imagine this. Someone in a sales job gets promoted to manager, and suddenly their life is consumed by the pressures of overseeing a team. They realize, hey, I'm happier out in the field doing what I'm good at. So they step back. Nothing wrong with that. Or think about the person who says, I want to run the company, and then gets a taste of what that actually means, the long hours, the endless demands. Turns out it's not as glamorous as they thought. So they choose a different path, one that brings them fulfillment without swallowing up their time. That's wisdom too. The truth is, real success isn't about checking off someone else's boxes. It's about defining your own goals and then making sure your time aligns with them. At the end of the day, the secret lies in this. Discipline your time in a way that reflects the life you want. It's not just about working more. It's about working right. Make those hours count and watch how little by little they transform your life. There's something worth remembering when you feel pressured by the demands of life or work. Sometimes stepping down can give you a life that feels richer than any paycheck. You see, I went after a lot of big goals in my early years, but here's what I found out the hard way. Some of those pursuits came at too high a price. If I'd known just how much they would cost me in time and relationships and peace of mind, I might have made different choices. And I'll tell you, it's not just about dollars and cents. You have to ask yourself, is that extra income worth losing touch with people who matter? Because your family, your relationships, these things must factor into the equation. Now, here's a principle I think we should talk about. Getting more from yourself. And I don't mean just working longer hours. I mean creating more value in the hours you're already using. What if you could make 1 hour as valuable as 10 used to be? Think about it: efficiency, skill building, sharpening your focus, gaining knowledge, developing a sense of mastery. When you pour all that into your day, you're bringing a whole new level of value to your work, to your life. And this, my friends, is the real key to time management. You know, I found that a regular day, 8 hours, 10 hours, maybe even 5 or 6 days a week is plenty of time. But only if you're using that time wisely. It's not about just putting in more hours. It's about putting in better hours. And we're seeing a change in the way people are approaching work that really speaks to this. More people are setting up home offices, telecommuting, and using technology to work in ways that are flexible and, yes, more efficient. Some people work in one state and live in another, all because they don't have to be tethered to a physical office anymore. They're discovering that tasks that used to take days are now getting done in hours. Why? Because they're free from distractions, no unexpected visitors, no phone interruptions, no one dropping by to chat. When they work, they're fully engaged, and when they're done, they're free to focus on other parts of their lives. Now, I understand not everyone has the luxury of working this way. But here's the beauty. You can take these same principles and apply them to any work environment. Maybe it's setting up do not disturb time so you can focus on your highest priorities. Maybe it's scheduling your day so you can work uninterrupted during your peak hours, the hours when you're most alert, most creative, most focused. Think about setting aside specific times for appointments, for phone calls, for other obligations. This kind of structure lets you do more in less time with greater ease and focus. And this is where the magic of personal development truly shines. Because personal development isn't just about learning more, it's about becoming more. It's about understanding your own rhythms when you're at your best, how you can work smarter rather than harder, how to maximize your time. When you know yourself, you're more capable, more valuable. And when you're more valuable, your time becomes more valuable too. Let me tell you, there's a fundamental principle in life that can transform everything you do. Either you run the day or it runs you. It's that simple, but it's also that powerful. Part of mastering time management lies in keeping yourself firmly in the driver's seat. Here's what usually happens though. We start something new and we're steering it in the right direction, but as time goes on, it's all too easy to lose control. You start a business and at first you're running it, but give it a few months and suddenly it feels like it's the business that's running you. That's why you've got to stop now and then and ask yourself who's in charge here. Here's a phrase worth remembering. Something will master and something will serve. That's the reality of life on this spinning planet of ours. It's a simple law. Either you'll take control or you'll be controlled. You have to choose which is which. And here's what's critical. You've got to make sure you're the one calling the shots. You run the day, you run the business, you run the game plan. You stay in charge. So how do you make sure you stay in charge? Well, first things first, carry a written set of goals with you. Have those goals right where you can see them. Next, prioritize those goals. Decide which ones are important, which ones need your attention. And then here's a big one, review those goals constantly. It's not enough to write them down and forget them. You've got to keep them in front of you, keep them alive in your mind. And don't stop there. Match up those goals with a solid written game plan. A game plan says get it out of your head and onto paper. With that game plan in hand, start sorting out the majors from the minors. Ask yourself, is this a major thing or a minor thing? Some things deserve more of your time and energy, others don't. Plan your day according to that. If it's a major day, give it your best. If it's a minor day, don't overcommit. Before you make a call, stop and think, is this a major call or a minor call? A major call might need a few minutes of preparation, while a minor one can be handled with a quick hello, how are you? A little thoughtfulness here can save you a whole lot of time. Here's another key to managing time. Don't get caught up in busy work. It's all too easy to mistake movement for achievement. I know you've seen it, a person is constantly on the go, but when you look closer, you see they're not getting anywhere. They're busy, yes, but they're busy doing things that don't really count. It's like running in circles, lots of motion, no progress. So don't let busyness fool you into thinking you're productive. Ask yourself doing what, that's the question. Now evaluate those hours you're spending each day. Go through them and see if you can't find some time that's going to waste some moments that could be used better. Because the truth is, you don't need more time. You just need to make better use of the time you already have. Now, one of the next essentials of time management is focus, undivided concentration. If you want to make the most of your day, you've got to learn to zero in on the job at hand, cut out the distractions, and bring your full attention to whatever you're working on. Don't start your business day until you're really at the business. Now, I used to make this mistake myself. I'd start thinking about work first thing in the shower, thought I was getting a head start. Found out that doesn't work. You've got to wait until you actually step into your workspace, into that environment where work belongs. Otherwise, you're never fully present. Your home is your home and your work is your work. Keep the two separate and you'll give each the focus it deserves. Here's a good rule of thumb. If you're at the breakfast table, don't be thinking about the office. Concentrate on your family. Be with your family. Give them your undivided attention. Then when you're on your way to work, don't be mentally at work yet. Instead, concentrate on the drive or the commute or whatever's in front of you. You'll find that being fully present wherever you are gives each part of your life a higher quality. Wherever you are, be there. When you're at the breakfast table, be there with your family. At work, be at work. Give every part of your day the gift of your attention. Now, here's another essential. Learn the power of saying no. In a social society, there's a natural pressure to say yes to just about everything. But saying yes too often will fill up your schedule with things that don't serve your goals, don't enhance your life. Overcommit yourself, and you'll find yourself running in circles, constantly backtracking, calling people to apologize or cancel. It's better to be thoughtful. Instead of giving a quick yes, try saying, let me think about it, or I'm not sure, but I'll let you know. It's more respectful of your time and the other person's time too. One of my favorite lines on this comes from a colleague of mine: don't let your mouth overload your back. It's easy to say yes, but what happens if that yes is too much to carry? You've got to be realistic, protect your energy, and value your time. See, when you appreciate yourself, you'll appreciate your time too. Understand your limits. Know that every commitment you make to someone else is also a commitment away from something else, maybe your own goals, your family, your personal growth. When you have that self-respect, that appreciation for your time and your energy, you'll start saying yes to the things that truly matter and no to the rest. Now, I know a group of entrepreneurs who are a great example of this principle. They're very successful, well-known in their industry, and they get a lot of requests to serve on charity boards or contribute their expertise for free. But here's what they do. Instead of jumping at every prestigious or appealing offer, they take every single request and evaluate it. They ask themselves, what kind of time commitment does this require? What kind of opportunity does it present? Is it truly worth my energy and time? Then they take a collective vote and choose only 2 commitments to accept for the entire year. That's it. They don't say yes just to boost their reputation or do every fun social thing that comes along. They're selective. They understand that their time and focus are valuable, and they protect that time by carefully considering each commitment. And that's the key. You don't have to say yes to everything that sounds prestigious or interesting. Every time you say yes to one thing, you're saying no to something else. So be intentional. Take time to consider what's truly important to you, what's worth your energy, what contributes to your goals and your loved ones. Because time isn't just something you manage, it's something you treasure. Guard it well and use it to build a life that reflects who you really are and what you value most. Here's a thought for you. Be eager to please yourself and your family first and foremost. Don't be so quick to please everyone else. You've got to understand and appreciate your own limits. You don't have to be everywhere doing everything, filling up every second of your day with tasks and obligations. Sometimes the best thing you can do is to take a step back, breathe, and really appreciate what you've accomplished. Take the time to enjoy the fruits of your labor. See, success isn't just about grinding all the time. It's also about taking pleasure in the journey, appreciating what you've built and how far you've come. That appreciation. It's not just for today, it's an important fuel for what you're going to accomplish in the future. Imagine this, you finish your day and you've done everything you set out to do. There's a certain satisfaction, a sense of encouragement in knowing you completed the game plan. You finished what you started, and that's powerful. It's these little victories, these daily accomplishments that add up over time and continue to drive your success. It's like laying bricks on a solid foundation, one brick at a time, one small victory at a time. See, big achievements are built on the back of small ones. Those minor victories matter because they're what make the major victories possible. You can't truly appreciate the big achievements until you've learned to value the little ones. Each small win builds your confidence, builds your character, and fuels your momentum. And when you acknowledge and appreciate each one, you create a mindset of achievement, a sense of forward motion that will carry you all the way to those big dreams you've got waiting down the road. So take a moment, look back at the day, and appreciate even the smallest steps. Remember, it's the little things done well day by day that lead to the biggest breakthroughs. Give yourself credit for each step, each effort, and let that sense of accomplishment build your enthusiasm for what's next. This is how you keep your momentum, how you keep fueling the fire, and how you keep growing toward those big, beautiful goals. It's not just about what you do, it's about appreciating who you're becoming in the process.